Boyfriend cheated for 8 months, told the other woman I was his crazy ex-roommate. When he moved out, I hired a mariachi band to serenade his departure while both his girlfriends watched. The whole thing went viral. He became known as the mariachi guy and had to move cities. Sometimes petty revenge is best served with traditional Mexican folk music. Some background. I'm 28F, and this involves my now ex-boyfriend Tyler, 30M. We'd been together for 3 years, living together for the past year and a half in a duplex apartment in a pretty busy neighborhood in Austin, Texas. I thought we were solid. We talked about marriage, kids, the whole future together. I was completely, blissfully ignorant of what was actually going on behind my back. The discovery happened in the most cliché way possible. Tyler had been working late more often, being secretive with his phone, the usual red flags that I kept making excuses for because I trusted him completely. The smoking gun came when he left his laptop open while he was in the shower and a notification popped up from Instagram. It was from someone named Jessica with a message that made my stomach drop. Can't wait to see you tonight, baby. Room 314 at the Hilton like always. Love you so much, red heart. I sat there staring at the screen for a full minute before it sank in. Then I did what any rational person would do. I went full FBI and started investigating. His Instagram DMs were a goldmine of evidence. Tyler had been seeing Jessica for 8 months. 8 months. Not only that, but he'd been telling her that I was just his crazy ex-roommate who wouldn't move out and that he was planning to get rid of me soon so they could be together properly. The messages were nauseating. He was telling her he loved her, making plans for trips together, even discussing moving in together once he dealt with a roommate situation. There were photos of them at restaurants I recognized, places he'd told me he was going to for work dinners. Hotel receipts, romantic getaways that happened during his supposed business trips. But the absolute worst part? Jessica had no idea I existed as his girlfriend. In her mind, she was dating a single guy who just happened to have a difficult housing situation with his ex. Tyler had constructed this elaborate lie where I was the crazy one preventing him from moving on, rather than his actual girlfriend of 3 years who he was betraying every single day. I screenshotted everything. Every message, every photo, every receipt. Then I sat on our couch and cried for about 2 hours while Tyler was at his client meeting, which I now knew was actually dinner with Jessica. When Tyler came home that night around 11 p.m., I was waiting for him with my laptop open to the Instagram conversation. "Hey babe," he said casually, kissing the top of my head. "Sorry I'm so late. The client dinner ran long, and then we went for drinks to seal the deal." I just turned the laptop screen toward him. Which client was that, Tyler? Jessica from the Hilton. His face went white, then red, then white again. It was almost comical watching him cycle through different emotions as he realized he'd been caught. "I can explain," he started, which is universally the dumbest thing anyone can say when caught red-handed. "Oh, please do," I said. "I'm particularly interested in how I became your crazy ex-roommate who won't move out, instead of your girlfriend of 3 years. What followed was 2 hours of the most pathetic backpedaling I've ever witnessed. Tyler tried every excuse in the book. It didn't mean anything, it was just physical. He was confused about what he wanted, he was going to end it soon anyway, he still loved me, Jessica was just a distraction, blah blah blah. The thing that struck me most was that he never once showed genuine remorse. He was sorry he got caught, not sorry he'd been betraying me for 8 months. He kept trying to minimize it, saying it wasn't that serious, that I was overreacting. The final straw was when he said, "Look, you're being dramatic. Lots of couples go through rough patches. We can work through this if you just calm down and think rationally." That's when I told him to pack his shit and get out. Tyler tried to negotiate, saying he needed time to find a place, that he couldn't just move out immediately. I told him he had 48 hours to remove his belongings, or I'd put them on the curb. The lease was in my name, I'd been paying the majority of the rent anyway, and I was done being accommodating to someone who'd been lying to my face for 8 months. He got angry then, saying I was being unreasonable, that I couldn't just kick him out, that his stuff was there too. I reminded him that according to his girlfriend, I was just his crazy ex-roommate, so he should be thrilled to finally get away from me. Tyler stormed out that night, presumably to Jessica's place, and I spent the rest of the evening planning his departure. See, I wasn't just hurt. I was creatively vindictive. Tyler had humiliated me for months without me even knowing it. He'd made me into the villain in his story with Jessica, the obstacle preventing their happiness. He'd stolen 8 months of my life while making me feel grateful for his presence. And now he was trying to make me feel bad for kicking him out. So I decided that if Tyler wanted to make his relationship public, I'd help him make his breakup public too. I live in Austin, which is basically the live music capital of the world. You can hire musicians for pretty much anything here. Weddings, parties, proposals, you name it. And yes, you can hire mariachi bands. I found a group called Los Corazones Rotos, the Broken Hearts, through a friend who'd used them for her wedding. They specialized in traditional Mexican music, but were also known for taking special requests and custom gigs. When I called them and explained what I wanted to do, the guy I spoke to, Carlos, was immediately on board. Sí, he said, his accent thick with amusement. El novio malo. We have done this before, Mija. We will make it very special for him. I hired them for a 4-hour window on Saturday afternoon, which is when Tyler said he'd be coming with his friends to pack up his stuff. The band consisted of 5 guys, 2 guitarists, 1 bassist, 1 trumpet player, and Carlos on vocals. I paid them $800 for the afternoon, plus a $200 bonus if they really committed to the performance. I also reached out to Jessica through Instagram. I created a fake account and sent her a message saying I was Tyler's sister and that I had some important information about her boyfriend that she needed to know. We arranged to meet for coffee on Friday afternoon. Jessica turned out to be a perfectly nice woman who'd been just as deceived as I had been. When I explained who I really was and showed her all the evidence of Tyler's double life, she was horrified. She genuinely believed Tyler was single and had been falling in love with him. She felt terrible about unknowingly being the other woman. "Oh my God," she kept saying, looking through the screenshots. "He told me you were his crazy ex who was basically stalking him. He made it sound like you were completely unhinged and wouldn't accept that you'd broken up." "Well," I said, "I guess we're both about to show him what unhinged actually looks like." I told Jessica about my mariachi plan, and she was instantly in. Not only did she want to be there to confront Tyler, but she offered to help make it even more memorable. She had a friend who was a photographer and another who did videography for events. They agreed to document the whole thing for free because they thought it was hilarious. Saturday morning, I woke up early and set everything up. The mariachi band arrived at noon, and we went over the plan. They were going to start playing the moment Tyler's moving truck pulled up, and they would follow him throughout his packing process, serenading him with a custom setlist I'd created. The playlist was a mix of traditional heartbreak songs and some creative custom requests. La Llorona, the Weeping Woman, because Tyler was about to be crying. Cucurucucu Paloma, a classic breakup song. Te vas, angel mio, You're Leaving My Angel, but sung ironically since Tyler was no angel. A custom version of Las Mananitas rewritten to be about saying goodbye to cheaters. La Bikina, just because it's loud and dramatic. Custom lyrics to Cielito Lindo about lying boyfriends. The guys were absolutely incredible. They showed up in full traditional mariachi outfits, black suits with silver buttons, sombreros, the works. Carlos had even brought maracas for extra drama. At 2 p.m., Tyler's truck pulled up. He'd brought 3 of his friends to help him move, plus Jessica was supposed to meet him there, though she was obviously already there with me, hiding in my neighbor's yard with the photographers. The moment Tyler stepped out of the truck, Los Corazones Rotos launched into La Llorona at full volume. Tyler's face was priceless. He looked around in confusion, then spotted me standing on my porch with my arms crossed and the biggest shit-eating grin on my face. "What the hell is this?" he shouted over the music. "It's your going-away party," I shouted back. "I thought you deserved a proper send-off." The mariachi band positioned themselves in my front yard and continued playing as Tyler and his friends started carrying boxes out of the apartment. Every time they came outside with more of his stuff, the band would get louder and more dramatic. By this point, neighbors were coming out to see what was happening. My street is pretty busy on weekends anyway, but word spread fast that there was a mariachi band playing in someone's front yard. People started gathering to watch, some filming with their phones. Tyler was mortified. He kept trying to ignore the band, but it's pretty hard to ignore 5 guys in sombreros playing trumpets 6 feet away from you. His friends were trying not to laugh, but you could see them struggling to keep straight faces. The best moment came when Tyler was carrying out his dresser with one of his friends. The band launched into their custom version of Las Mananitas, with lyrics Carlos had written about cheating boyfriends. Estas son las mananitas que cantamos a los mentirosos. Ya despierta, mi infiel. Ya despierta. Ya es hora. Es el día de tu partida. Te cantamos con alegría. Con guitarras y violins, te decimos que te vayas. These are the morning songs we sing to liar/wake up. My unfaithful one, wake up. It's time/it's the day of your departure. We sing to you with joy/with guitars and violins. We tell you to leave. Tyler dropped his end of the dresser. Are you fucking kidding me right now? He screamed at me. Language. I called back. There are children present. I gestured to a group of neighbor kids who had gathered to watch the show. That's when Jessica made her entrance. She walked out from behind my neighbor's house, still holding the coffee cup from our meeting the day before, and approached Tyler calmly. Hi, baby, she said sweetly. Surprise. Tyler's face went through every emotion known to mankind. Confusion, recognition, panic, and then pure terror as he realized both of his girlfriends were now in the same place. Jessica, what are you doing here? I can explain. Oh, you don't need to explain anything, Jessica said. Your crazy ex-roommate already filled me in on everything. She walked over and stood next to me. Turns out your roommate situation was a lot more complicated than you let on. The crowd was growing bigger. People were filming, laughing, asking neighbors what was going on. The mariachi band, sensing the drama, switched to Cucurucucu Paloma and turned up the volume. Tyler looked around desperately. At me, at Jessica, at his friends, at the growing crowd of spectators, at the mariachi band that was now playing directly at him. This is insane, he said. You're both insane. No, Jessica said. We're both done being lied to. Then she did something I'll never forget. She walked over to one of Tyler's boxes of clothes, picked it up, and dumped it out on the sidewalk. Oops, she said. Guess you'll have to repack that. The crowd cheered. The mariachi band launched into Te Vas Angel Mio with extra enthusiasm. Tyler looked like he wanted to disappear into the ground. But we weren't done. I had prepared one final surprise. I walked into the house and came back out with a poster board I'd made the night before. In big, colorful letters, it said, Tyler's going away party. Celebrating 3 years of lies, 8 months of cheating, and 0 years of honesty. Adios, mentiroso. I held it up while the photographers captured Tyler's reaction. He was red-faced, sweating, and looked like he was about to have a complete breakdown. You can't do this, he shouted. This is harassment. Actually, called out one of my neighbors. This is public property, and they have permits for the music. I had indeed gotten a permit for the mariachi band, because I'm nothing if not thorough. Tyler's friends were trying to pack faster, clearly wanting to get out of there as quickly as possible. But the mariachi band was relentless. Every time they carried something out, Los Corazones Rotos would follow them, playing louder and with more dramatic flair. The breaking point came when Tyler tried to carry out his gaming setup. It was his prized possession, a huge desktop computer with multiple monitors that he'd spent thousands of dollars on. As he and 2 friends struggled to carry it down the stairs, the band positioned themselves right in front of the truck and launched into the loudest, most dramatic rendition of Cielito Lindo I've ever heard. Tyler couldn't see where he was going because of the sombreros blocking his view. He stumbled, nearly dropped the computer, and started screaming at the band to move. Carlos, the lead singer, just smiled and sang louder. Cielito Lindo, ese lunar que tienes. Cielito Lindo, junto a la boca. No ese lo da Nadia. Que a mí me taca. But he changed the last line to, no ese lo da otras. Que ya no taca. Don't give it to others / because now it doesn't matter. The crowd was losing it. People were clapping, singing along, recording everything. Someone had apparently live-streamed part of it because I started getting messages from friends who were watching it happen in real time. By this point, Tyler was beyond mortified. He was sweating, red-faced, and moving his stuff as fast as humanly possible just to get away from the spectacle. His friends were helping, but you could tell they thought the whole thing was kind of hilarious. Jessica and I stood on my porch like queens surveying our kingdom, occasionally offering commentary. "Oh, don't forget your toothbrush, Tyler. Make sure you pack all your lies. Jessica, do you want any of his stuff? I think he has extras." The final insult came when Tyler was loading the last of his boxes. I had prepared one more surprise, a mariachi band finale that Carlos had helped me plan. As Tyler closed the truck and started walking toward the driver's seat, the entire band gathered in a semicircle and launched into a slow, dramatic version of Las Golondrinas, a traditional farewell song. But here's the kicker. I had arranged for my neighbors to join in. About 15 people who had gathered to watch started singing along in Spanish, badly but enthusiastically. It was like the whole neighborhood was serenading Tyler goodbye. The song builds to this huge, emotional crescendo, and right at the climax, Carlos pointed directly at Tyler and belted out the final line with everything he had. Tyler stood by his truck for a moment, looking around at the crowd of people singing, the mariachi band, me and Jessica waving from the porch, and the photographers capturing everything. Then he just got in his truck and drove away without another word. The crowd cheered as he left. Los Corazones Rotos took a bow. Jessica and I hugged. The photographers got everything on camera. But the story doesn't end there. Within 24 hours, videos of the mariachi band breakup were all over social media. Someone had posted it to TikTok, and it went viral locally. The Austin subreddit picked it up. Local news stations started calling asking for interviews. Tyler's friends apparently thought it was hilarious and had no problem telling everyone they knew about what happened. His coworkers found out. His family found out. His gym buddies found out. Jessica and I became friends through the whole experience. She ended up helping me redecorate the apartment since I now had a lot more space. We joke that Tyler brought us together in the most unexpected way possible. The best part? Tyler tried to complain to the police about harassment and public humiliation. The officer who took his report apparently asked if he'd been physically threatened or if his property had been damaged. When Tyler said no, just that he'd been embarrassed by mariachi music, the officer told him that wasn't a crime and that maybe he shouldn't have cheated on his girlfriend if he didn't want public consequences. Tyler moved to Dallas about a month later. I heard through mutual friends that he couldn't handle being the mariachi guy everywhere he went in Austin. Los Corazones Rotos got a bunch of new bookings from the viral videos. Carlos told me they've been hired for 3 more cheating boyfriend send-offs since my story got popular. Apparently, I started a trend. Jessica started dating one of Tyler's friends about 4 months later, one of the guys who helped him move, and thought the whole mariachi thing was brilliant. They're really happy together, and he treats her the way she deserves to be treated. As for me, I'm single and loving it. I redecorated the whole apartment, got a dog, and started taking salsa dancing lessons, inspired by my newfound love of mariachi music. I'm in no rush to date again, but when I do, I'll know exactly what red flags to look for. The mariachi band cost me $1,000 total, but it was worth every penny for the closure, the viral fame, and the absolute satisfaction of watching Tyler face the consequences of his actions in the most public, musical way possible. Sometimes revenge is a dish best served with trumpets and traditional Mexican folk songs. Update: 2 months after the original post. Holy shit, I never expected this story to blow up the way it did. Thanks for all the awards and comments. A few people have been asking for updates, so here we go. Tyler apparently saw the Reddit post, someone sent it to him, and tried to contact me through mutual friends saying I was defaming him online. I told him that defamation requires lies, and everything I posted was true. He shut up after that. Los Corazones Rotos now lists cheater send-offs as an official service on their website. They've done 6 more since mine, and Carlos sends me photos every time. They even have a special package deal now. Jessica and Tyler's friend, now her boyfriend, got engaged last month. I'm invited to the wedding, and yes, Los Corazones Rotos will be performing at the reception. I've been on 3 local radio shows and 1 podcast talking about the story. Apparently, I'm somewhat of a local legend now. My dog's name is Mariachi. Because of course it is. Tyler's new girlfriend in Dallas found the viral videos and broke up with him. Apparently, he tried to pull the same crazy ex story about me, but she'd already seen the evidence of his cheating. Some people never learn. The moral of the story remains, don't cheat on people, especially if they live in a city with easily accessible mariachi bands and a strong sense of poetic justice.